So first thing is, I have all of the interior panels for this trunk area, which I have removed already for this video. But what I don't have is I don't have this whole area. I don't have that area. So we're gonna have to make them. So we're gonna go ahead and get some of that mapped out with some wood. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get some of this straightened out and figure out what we need to make. And we're also going to and figure all that out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some other stuff together, and then we'll start making that and see how it goes. All right, as you can see, I got that piece made. What we're gonna do is we're gonna end up putting another skin over top of at least the top of this, which is gonna cover this edge here and make all this look uniform. And it's also going to go all the way to the back of the seat. But we're gonna do that with a thinner piece of wood. I wanted to make this out of a more solid piece of wood because this is where we're gonna put at least one of our amplifiers. Hopefully both of them if I can get them to fit. So the next thing we need to do is the hard part, unfortunately. So what I got going on for down here is I got a couple things. So what I'm trying to make for here is I want to make this whole lower part completely flat. And I want it to look uniform. Obviously we're going to wrap that with some suede, which we're going to redo the suede on the doors too. So all of this is going to match, which is why I haven't done the doors yet. But the problem is we got a couple different things to worry about here. So number one is we need to be able to access all of these bolts, obviously, because that's how you bolt down these panels, which we're going to have to fix a couple of these too. As you can see, that one's cracked. We also have these wires to worry about. So yeah, we got to deal with that. Now this hook here, I'm not really sure what the heck that was for. I'm guessing it was maybe to strap this tire down, slash this thing. I don't really know. Maybe something that held the T-tops, which I'd like to have enough room to put my T-tops in here. So we're definitely going to be keeping that in mind. But basically, we need to work around all these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this 1/2" wood to build up a platform. And we're going to try to make this platform level with this area, and it's going to be basically roughly cut around all of these grooves and stuff like that for the rest of this trunk. It's going to be cut around these lines here, it's going to be cut around these wires, and anything else that might be in the way. And we're going to get a rough cut for that, and we're going to set that up, and then we're going to put a thinner skin on top of that too, and we're going to glue them together. Sorry, it's hot out here. We're going to glue them together so that we have a nice uniform fit. And our thinner skin is going to sit on top of all of this. So it's going to hide this whole lip here, and it's going to make everything look really good. And then obviously this piece is going to sit right on top of this piece that we're making. So everything is going to look nice and uniform, hopefully. And when we wrap it in fabric, it's basically going to look like a stock piece. I've never actually seen what this piece actually looks like, so I don't really know, but it's going to look good. So, well, that's the idea anyway. But that's what I'm working with so far. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some cardboard and start cutting out a template for this whole bottom area so that hopefully we can make at least one big piece or maybe 2 pieces of the 1/2" wood to fill in this gap and help cover some of this stuff that sticks up. let's get to it. All right, guys, so I got my template made. There it is. And now it's time to cut it out in some wood, but I think we're gonna go ahead and just use some movie magic. Whoa, change cameras and everything. Anyway, there's our piece of wood. As you can see, I'm missing a little spot over there. We're gonna have to make that. I had to make this out of 2 pieces because obviously I didn't have one big enough piece of wood to make this whole thing out of. So, it doesn't really matter though, because now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make basically a whole nother sheet like this, except for this one has to be more specific, because what we're gonna do is this new one is gonna be a thinner piece and it's gonna go all the way to this very edge. And this is the one that is going to get wrapped with whatever kind of fabric I decide to put down on this. So yeah, it's gonna be a little tricky. But anyway, I'm gonna get started on that and we're gonna get that made up. And I'll probably just, you know, we'll just use some movie magic for that too. And there we have it. So I made this template out of poster board. That way I can just get a little bit nicer cuts around the edges and stuff like that. But as you can see, this covers the entire bottom. And this edge up here, I still have, this wire's a little close, but I think if we can just get a little bit of slack on that, kind of tuck it back here in the corner, we'll be good there. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this template out of some thinner wood, and then we're gonna glue it to the boards that I have underneath already to kind of give us like a sturdy, you know, nice flat area, you know, in our trunk here. And then we're also going to cover this with fabric, like I said. All right, so as you guys saw already, we went ahead and got the trunk straightened out, got some new panels made for there, and we're all good to go for the most part. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna strip the interior. We're gonna take out all the pieces that we need to put suede on. We're gonna take both the seats out because we're also going to be removing the carpet and painting it black, or well, dyeing it black. But anyway, let's get to it. All right, so as you can see, we got the entire interior gutted. At least everything that I'm gonna take out. What we're gonna end up doing in here is, first of all, the carpet. It actually goes and it's connected as one piece up underneath this dash. I'm not taking the whole dash out just to get a piece of carpet off. So what I did was I went in through the radio and I started cutting a slit, and then I basically just ripped it as far towards the middle as I possibly could. And I'll show you that right now. So you can see this is the area that would have been underneath. This slit is the middle, and I ended up just kind of ripping it here. This part is actually tucked way up underneath too, so when I go to put it back in, I'll probably just cut these off here, and it's going to be just fine. But there's our carpet. It's obviously dirty as crap. We're going to end up cleaning this up and hopefully dyeing it black. So that'll take care of that. Then we got all our other pieces here that are going to get new suede on them, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get all those laid out, and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, so here is all of the pieces, interior pieces that need new suede. Just about, you know, you can see how it runs, basically straight across the front, blah, blah, blah. And then the door panels. So let's talk about two things that are important. Obviously, I stripped all the suede off of these already. Most of the pieces are either plastic or fiberglass, or not fiberglass, like this cardboard type stuff. So all of those are fine for using the glue that we're going to be using, which I'll show you in a minute. There's a couple pieces I want to talk about. These top pieces. This is the piece that goes behind your seat, and it has this piece that is felt attached to it. And they are stapled together. So take your time, don't rip them apart, bend the staples open, pull them out one by one. It takes a little bit more time, but this stuff is made of that, like this cardboard paper, and it is not very sturdy. So you do not want to rip those apart. You will rip the lip off of this. So as you can see, still all intact, so we can staple them right back together and nobody will ever know. I am keeping these felt. I'm going to make sure they clean up good. If for some reason they don't, then we'll re-felt them. But I decided to keep those felt just to kind of keep it that, you know, stock plus kind of look. So all of these panels are easy. The doors are going to need a little bit more work, because it looks like what they do is they wrap the entire door in vinyl, and then they put the suede or the tweed on top of the vinyl. And that's very interesting, because a lot of the glues that are made for upholstery are not made for vinyl. Some of them say that they will cause an adverse reaction if you try to use them on vinyl, which means the vinyl will probably melt. So we do not want to use the same glue that we're going to be using here on our door panels. Also, our door panels are going to need a little bit more work, because as you can see, some of the vinyl that's under here is peeling off. So we're going to have to re-stick the vinyl first. And there's also a couple spots like here that aren't getting covered that are peeling. So we're going to try to re-seal those, or re-stick those first before we put the new suede on top of these door panels. The door panels are also going to take a little bit extra time, because all of these pieces down here, the suede just wraps over the edge, or it wraps right up to the edge and it's covered. So those are very easy. These pieces, however, there is no edge to wrap around. You have to tuck the suede into this little thing and make it look nice. So that's going to be fun. We're also going to have to tape off all the vinyl that we're keeping vinyl and everything like that. So the door panels are going to be a little bit trickier. All of these panels are pretty standard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I wrap one of these panels, and I think I'm going to do this one up here at the top, because that one is going to be one of the harder ones to do. These three are really the only three that have decent contours to them. So we'll go ahead and wrap one of those, and I'll show you how I do that. And then as far as the rest of them, you know, you'll get the idea. It's pretty simple. so now that we got most of these parts re-sueded, the next thing we're going to do for our interior refresh is handle all these plastic pieces. So most of mine are in pretty good condition except for my trunk pieces, but we've got all the trunk pieces here, the kick panels, all this kinds of good stuff. These are all plastic parts, and what we're going to do is we're going to clean them off, and then we're going to use the heat gun to heat them up and kind of bring life back to them and get rid of some of the scratches, especially in the trunk pieces. So let's see how it goes. We're going to start with like a kick panel or something that nobody's going to see if for some reason it doesn't work. Alright, so I don't know if you guys will be able to see this on camera or not, but yeah, you kind of can. It definitely makes a difference. So I did this, yeah, you can kind of see it right here. You can see that this panel is much darker than this. And looking at it in person, it does look a little bit shinier. It did help get rid of some of the smaller, like, kind of scratches that you can't feel, because there was a couple up here that are gone now, but obviously it didn't get rid of my deeper scratches here. So my issue with this process is, as you can see, the first one I started on was this kick panel, and again, it works. It's definitely a lot. I didn't do this area, I did do this area, so I don't know if you can see it on camera again, but it's definitely shinier, it's nicer looking here, but as you can see, it warped this end because I'm getting these panels pretty hot. So I didn't want to risk doing all this while these pieces were off the car and have them warped. So what we're going to do is we're going to reinstall these pieces after we put some of the car back together, and then we'll go ahead and do this process. That way, at least the plastic is in the position that it's supposed to be in when I'm doing this. So if it does melt to the point where it's going to be flexible, it's going to be in the position it's in. So we're going to come back to this after we get some stuff installed. The next thing we're going to do, and this is something that I did quite a bit of research on and have not found a negative thing about it. So I'm really excited about this, but what we're going to do is we are going to paint my carpet and my seats. Yes, paint. We're going to be using Duplicolor's fabric and vinyl paint. It's not actually paint. It comes out of an aerosol can, kind of like spray paint, but it's actually more like dye. So I cleaned up the carpet already. It's drying off now. We're going to start with the seats, and we're going to go ahead and paint them black. Hopefully they look good. Holy cow, that looks so good. Let's still as soft as it was too. Yeah, and it's already dry to the touch, so that's nice. Seats turned out good. Carpet's getting there. I was thinking it was going to need a couple coats, but honestly this looks pretty good with just one coat on it. So I'm probably going to do 2 coats on the seats just to kind of get them a little bit more consistent, since you see those more. But the carpet we're probably just going to do 1 coat on, and it's going to be fine. So yeah, that's easy as crap and cheap. I'm going to end up probably buying 4 seats, so to 4 cans. So to dye my seats, well, we'll go over it all at the end. By the way, too, I didn't show you, I did take all the plastic pieces off. So I took the switches off, the plastic pieces, the knobs off the sides and stuff like that. If you don't know how to do those, it's pretty easy. One of the knobs on the driver's seat has a screw in the middle, so you just pop the cover off and take that screw out. The handle and the other bigger knob on the passenger seat, they have little metal clips that are back here that look like this, and this piece sticks out, so you just got to kind of reach back there and pull this clip out, and then they'll come off. These plastic pieces just snap off. You just kind of squeeze them together and they'll pop off. These just pull off, so everything's pretty easy. This cover had a couple screws on it and stuff like that, so relatively easy. And for what I'm going to end up paying, we'll go over at the end. I think this is going to be a major improvement. So with everything going on, obviously, you know, the dyed seats and the dyed carpet black, the new charcoal gray suede interior, the refurbished plastic pieces, the inside of this car is going to look fabulous. I cannot wait. So I'm going to go ahead and get a couple more cans and finish up this, and then we'll probably start putting everything back in. This is probably all I'm going to show you guys for right now, and I'll get back to you when it's all done. All right, guys, so I've worked on this interior for probably 2 weeks now, and there's still some minor things left to do and some trim pieces, but I'm finally ready to show you, so let's get to it. So that's about it, guys. Interior looks amazing. We can finally get started on what this video is supposed to be about, which you might see in the next one, or the next one might be a Datsun video. I'm not sure, but thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time.